Hi, it's Monique Maley with today's Leadership Bite, powered by Articulate Persuasion. I would love to talk to you guys today about executive presence. I know that's something you hear a lot about. You probably see articles about it all the time. And so there's a lot of things that we could talk about. Is it body language? Is it energy? Is it eye contact? And it is all of those things. But what I want to talk about today is the idea that how you show up to other people is actually how you view yourself. We're often really good at making a great first impression. We may be able to get through the first 2-3 meetings showing up the way we want to show up. But how you view yourself is ultimately going to come out, and people are going to view you the same way. So how do we fix that if how we view ourselves isn't how we want to be viewed? And the truth of the matter is, it starts with a very basic conversation, the hardest conversation we all have to have, which is the conversation we have with ourselves. We are constantly having conversations with ourselves, and sometimes those are not the healthiest conversations. I'm sure we've all had certain recordings that we've had in our head for a number of years that we're constantly battling against. And that's really where we have to start. We can't ignore those conversations. We actually have to have them. We have to ask ourselves, how do I really view myself? How am I showing up? What do I think of myself? Because when we can really start to address those challenges in that hard conversation, that is where we can start affecting change in how other people view us. We can ask other people for feedback, and that's always important. But until we believe that we're showing up a certain way, it will eventually show through in the cracks. It may take a month, it may take a year, but it's going to come out because you're holding something in. And people will eventually see it. They may not recognize it initially. It may just be lack of consistency in something, or your body language, or maybe the tone in which you're engaging with people. But it will show up. So I really challenge my clients to start having that honest conversation with themselves and start with their own mindset, start with their own conversation. Because once we can align that with how we want to be perceived, that's when the magic happens. That's when it's easy to show up the way we want to show up. So ask yourself, how do I honestly see myself? And is that how I want others to perceive me? It's a small thing to just start being that honest with ourselves, but it can be really powerful. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is there something, however small, in how you view yourself that you think may be undermining your executive presence? Let me know. I'm always happy to provide extra tips on the next Leadership Bite.